Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video provides more practice in calculating confidence intervals for proportions. Let's get started. So let's go to look at an example problem here involving Twitter. So we've seen this example before in previous mini lectures. Pew Research Center poll of 1,007 randomly selected adults reports 85% of respondents know what Twitter is. So from this statement alone, we know that our sample size is going to be 1,007. We also know that our our sample proportion is 85%. So this is the probability of success. And then by deduction, we know that the probability of failure must be the complement of that, which in this case would be 15%. With this information, we can answer the following questions. First, what is the margin of error that corresponds to a 95% confidence level? What is the 95% confidence interval estimate of the population proportion? Based on these results, can we safely conclude that more than 75% of adults know what Twitter is? How can we briefly but accurately describe the results and include all the relevant information? So these 4 questions are going to be what we're going to examine here in this mini lecture. Let's tackle these one at a time. So the first question we have is, what is the margin of error that corresponds to a 95% confidence level? Well, first, let's check to make sure the assumptions behind our methodology are satisfied. Do we have simple random sampling? What say you? Do we have simple random sampling? I hope you said yes, because we do have simple random sampling. And generally, you will have simple random sampling, even when the problem statement doesn't mention anything about the sampling method. It's safe to just assume that we have this met. Do we have a fixed number of trials? Well, what say you? Do we? I hope you said yes. Sample size is fixed at 1,007, so each person that we question in the poll represents a separate trial. Are those trials independent? I hope you just said yes. So what one person says doesn't necessarily, influence what someone else is going to say. Typically, people that are polled individually, so the trials are going to be independent. Are there only 2 outcomes per trial? Again, I hope you said yes. I mean, you either know what Twitter is or you don't. It's one or the two. So, yes, there's only 2 outcomes in each trial. Is the probability of success constant with each trial? Again, I hope you said yes. So, do we have at least 5 successes and 5 failures each? Yes, we have at least 5 successes and 5 failures. If you stop and do the math, you can see that we've got plenty more than 5 each way. So yes, we have that assumption met. And that means that all of our assumptions are satisfied, so we can use our margin of error equation that we learned in a previous mini lecture. So here's our margin of error equation. We substitute in the values that we have for our particular problem, and out comes 0.0221. Note that the z-score 1.96 comes from our 95% confidence level, which corresponds with a 5% significance level. So 0.0221 is then our margin of error. Next question, what's the 95% confidence interval estimate of the population proportion P? So if we're going to solve this old school style, first we need to find our point estimate. And to do that, we're going to ask ourselves this question. Does the sample proportion target the population proportion? Well, what say you? You should say yes. Proportions are unbiased estimators. So we can use our sample proportion as the point estimate for our population proportion. So that's going to be 0.85. Next, we substitute the given values into the desired general format. So if we start out with this general format, which is the most commonly used, we just substitute what we know, our point estimate, our margin of error, subtract on the left, add on the right, punch that on our calculator, and we get 0.828 to 0.872. This is our 95% confidence interval estimate. Note that if we use StatCrunch, we're going to come out with similar numbers. And we also note how we round our limits to 3 significant figures. So here's our values here in StatCrunch. Notice how to 3 significant figures we're going to get the same numbers out for our upper and lower limit. Based on these results, can we safely conclude more than 75% of adults know what Twitter is? Well, let's ask the question this way. Is the true population proportion greater than 75%? Well, look at your CI. What does the CI tell you? Our CI is 0.828 to 0.872. So where's 75% in relationship to that confidence interval? The confidence interval is saying that we're 95% confident the true population proportion is somewhere inside that interval. And since the entirety of that interval is greater than 75%, yeah, we can safely conclude more than 75% of adults know what Twitter is. Looked at it this way, if we take all those values that are greater than 75%, so let's just draw this out on the number line, right? So if we draw a number line out, here's our upper and lower limit for our confidence interval. So our true population proportion, we're 95% confident, is somewhere inside that interval, inside that range. But the value that we're asked to evaluate is 75%, which is out here on the edge. So the entirety of that confidence interval is greater than the value we're asked to evaluate. Therefore, we can say that yes, more than 75% of adults know what Twitter is. We're 95% confident that that's true. Last question, how can we briefly but accurately describe the results and include all the relevant information? Well, there's many different possible ways to answer that question, but here's a couple of ways. We could say this, 85% of adults know what Twitter is. The percentage is based on a Pew Research study poll of 1,007 randomly selected adults. In theory, in 95% of such polls, the percentage should differ by no more than 2.2 percentage points in either direction from the percentage that would be found by interviewing all adults in the United States. Alternatively, we could say, according to a Pew Research Center poll of 1,007 randomly selected adults, 85% of adults know what Twitter is. The 95% confidence interval margin of error for that statistic is 2.2 percentage points. In any case, however it is you say it, notice there are a couple things that these examples have in common. First is we're mentioning the confidence level for our confidence interval, 95%, and we're also mentioning the sample size that was used to create the confidence interval. That's 1,007 randomly selected adults. Now, consider that the quality of the poll results depends on the sampling method and the sample size. Of course, the bigger the sample, the higher the quality of the poll results. The more quality you put into the sampling method, the more quality you're going to get with the poll results. That just makes sense. Now, some students seem to think that population size is a factor, but usually it's not. Okay, so just because you see that a sample is a small proportion of a population, don't think that the poll results are unreliable. As we'll see when we learn about the calculation of sample size, a little bit can go a long way in a lot of cases. And that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.